Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Scorpio in April 2020. What's going on, Scorpio? How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. All right, Scorpio, welcome to April, my friends. How are you? How's everything in your neck of the woods? Current state of affairs, we've got a pandemic on our hands, my friends, and it is a struggle for many of us out there. Many people are in quarantine. Certain lockdowns and guidelines as far as social distancing and who and where you can meet and where you're supposed to go and all that kind of stuff. So amidst all of the chaos and confusion and just general anxiety that many people are experiencing, I hope you are able to make the best of it, you and your loved ones. I hope everybody is safe and secure. And we're all going to see our way out of this at some point in time, Scorpio, and hopefully we can be as calm and peaceful and level-headed and practical and informed as possible. I don't watch the news all the time. I watch it once a day, and it's kind of infuriating how, we're about 4 or 5 weeks into this thing, and a lot of people are still just learning some of the details about this. So hopefully you and yours have been staying on top of the news and doing everything that you can to help flatten the curve and get it so that we can all sort of get back to life as normal, okay? All right, Scorpio, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into it. I have shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. I'm going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamps in the description box below if you want to jump ahead. Also in the description box is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you want to ask me a question before you place the order for personal, you can go ahead and email me at the same address and I'll answer you as soon as I can. And my friends, some of you may have noticed at the top of the video, your girl is on Instagram. Ooh, ah. So if you're interested in following me over there, that name is EmpathicFire Tarot. Little graphic right there so you can see it again. But yeah, I pull oracle cards over there on most days. I think I've missed like 3 days so far out of like about a month and a half I've been doing this, something like that. Because I'm a human being and I got things to do. Or there's just days where the energy isn't there, and so I'm like, we didn't do it, and we're just not going to. So I do, do it when I am led to do it. But it's been most days, and it is oracle cards, not tarot exclusively yet. So if you want to see a different type of way that I read cards or different ways I interpret cards, you can go ahead and give me a follow over there at EmpathicFire Tarot if you choose. It's a free will world, my friends. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. Now, let's get into it. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Let's see Scorpio's outcome in April 2020. Please show me Scorpio's outcome in April 2020. Please show me. All the way down to the end of the deck, eh? Okay. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. It's very interesting. We'll see. That's not straight. I can see it already. Let's try that again. Alrighty then. And one card came face down for you, so let's go ahead and flip that now and see what's happening. Okay. Okay. All right, Scorpio, let's get into it. Please show me where Scorpio is in April 2020. Scorpio in April 2020, please show me. Okay, that's 2. I need just one position, please. Thank you. Okay, we got it. We got there. Okay. A little strange sensation, but that's for me to feel and not for you to really care too much about. Scorpio, coming into April, you come in with the energy of the 6 of Pentacles. All right. So what are you giving out to the world? What are you giving out to a particular person or a group of individuals? And what are you receiving back? This is a card that speaks about equity or equality or reciprocity, right? And the ways in which we show up and give and take from a situation in the ways that people show up towards us or in common situations between the pair, and how do they show up and give and take. And I feel a little bit of an evaluation here, and if not evaluation, just observation. Okay, you might not be making a judgment on it in terms of evaluation. What do I do, going forward? But you might just be observing. You might just be taking notes, taking notes, which I feel is very in line with your scorpionic tendency to obsess about the details, or be very fixated on sussing a situation out, or sussing a person out, or sussing out, something, and determining whether it's in your best interest or not. So I guess that does lend itself to evaluation, but I'm really feeling at this time, I guess the majority or the stronger energy is just of the observing and not actually making a decision here or there about something. I think you're just watching. Interesting. I think you're just watching something. Being that this is Pentacles, it could be you're watching dollars come in and come out of an account, your own, an account that you share with someone, a business account, or a mutual savings account, what have you. So it could just be watching the comings and goings of finances, and it's been popping up in readings, and it would be very ignorant of me if I didn't mention how at this time under quarantine, how a lot of people are out of work, or a lot of people are decreased in their capacity to work, or other people are given more work to fill the empty spaces. So whatever your experience is, if you're out of work, or if you've gained more hours, if you picked up a new job, if you picked up some side hustles, the emphasis on money or material things, or whatever helps define or increase your stability and your security, that's like very clear to me. It does trickle over into other things that we value in terms of time and effort, in terms of availability or support from other people around us, so friends, family, and all that good stuff, right? And you have like they're showing me like someone like an old like Victorian age, I suppose, or like an old scribe, or like an old accountant, like working with a quill pen and like writing down in very tiny letters in a ledger, the pluses and the minuses, the red and the black, and like keeping on the books. So some of you might be doing that. Some of you might be accountants, or you might have a hand in the financial area. You might be watching everything that's going on with the stocks, the stock market, and trades around the world, and how that's being impacted by this pandemic. Or again, it's more on a personal level. You're watching your spending because you're out of a job, or you're watching your spending because you're not sure if you're going to have a job at the end of the week, something like that. And again, for others of you, it's less about money, and it's more about how someone else or other people are contributing, because you do see those two hands at the bottom of the card. I mean, we see this guy at the top, right, with the pink sleeve shirt, and he's kind of evaluating something, or he's very concerned about the weight and the measure in the scales there. But then you have these two hands at the bottom that are reaching out towards those pentacles that are falling. And so again, this is careful observation of who is giving and who is taking here. Who is stepping up to the plate, and who's kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting for a handout. Something like that. And I feel you're in a position to really observe. You might be either of those characters. You might be the man or the person or the people with the hands out, but I feel most Scorpios are just watching. You could be watching the market. You could be watching, looking for an email coming in, letting you know, hey, Scorpio, this job, we're going to have to tank it because of, everything that's going on with coronavirus right now. So you're just like, again, I feel a lot of observation. You're watching, you're watching, you're watching. Now, what else is going on? Or who are you watching? Or what are you watching? I don't know. Let's figure it out. So what else happens for Scorpio? Please show me. All right, well, you are watching, or you're in a, okay. What was I just doing with my head? I'm glad I'm not on camera. I'm glad I'm only on camera for like lives, because that was weird as hell. I was moving. I mean, I guess it's sort of like, you know how sometimes you stretch your neck from the left to the right and you would hold it there, but I was like going back and forth with that. Like I'm moving. See, I'm doing it again. I'm going back and forth with my head to either side. So that could be you. You could be oscillating, or someone around you could be oscillating with their head, aka with their brain, with their thought process, something like that. Um, yeah, there's like a okay. So on one side we're you, I shouldn't say we, you, Scorpio, or whoever this is going to resonate with. It is a general, it can be flipped, so please take that with a grain of salt, only take what resonates with you, right? So there could be this oscillation between what is established and what is unknown, established, unknown, established, unknown. The established is very clear to me, thank you, and it's very clear to you. The Hierophant. Major Arcana for Taurus. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus, but you don't have to be. Please focus. Dang it. Dang it. Come on. You were doing so good, camera, in the last reading. I move my hand there. Maybe that was it. Now, there you go, friend. Okay, so the Hierophant, Major Arcana for Taurus. You could be dealing with a Taurus, but you don't have to be. The Hierophant is the known. The Hierophant is the absolute known. It's predictable. It's solid. It's steady. It is discernible. There is no mystery about the Hierophant. Well, I guess in some ways, if you really, really want to delve into it. But for the most part, the Hierophant is an energy of, a spade is a spade. It's black or white. It's up or down. There isn't any gray area, and there isn't anything mysterious or, again, unknown about the Hierophant. This is a card that speaks to loyalty, it speaks to tradition, it speaks to firm foundations, and it speaks to, in other ways, is that word? Conforming, thank you, conforming energies or conforming ideals. Being in line with the powers that be, being in line with the decorum or the expectations of a situation, or a gathering of people, a society, a culture, a religion, a place of business, a family dynamic, whatever. There are structures in place. There are expectations and roles to be fulfilled. And everybody, for the most part, needs to fall in line, needs to follow the protocol. There is no guesswork when it comes to the Hierophant. It is very plain to see what you have, what they have, who you are, who they are, what the situation is between you. It's clearly defined, right? So this could be an individual in your life. It's not speaking to fathers, but it speaks to wise counsel. So could be your parents. There is a man on this card, but it could represent a female in your life, but could speak to your parents, could speak to leaders in your community, government, obviously, because that's another collection of people that acts as one, right, or acts in the interest of, or tries to act in one mind, even though not well executed here in the States or many other places, not only the States, but the Hierophant is a collection of people that act in one way, or act or move towards one goal, right? So it could be government. So this could be, your mayor, your governor, your president, your king, your queen, whatever. And they have power and position and sway that is kind of taken for granted or assumed. Let's say it that way, assumed. We assume this person, we assume this figurehead, we assume this leader knows what they're doing. We trust them to guide us, right? We trust them to do what's best for the group, do what's best for the whole, do what's best for the employees, do what's best for the congregation, do what's best for the citizens, do what's best for everybody in the family, whatever level we're talking about for you, Scorpio. And like I said, there's an observation going on here with that Six of Pentacles that we started with. You are observing this person, or the way in which this entity, if it's not a single person or a group of people maybe, are operating. And there, if I'm honest, there is a skepticism. There's skepticism because you are in the position of observing. And for some of you, you're also at the point of evaluation. Because now we're going to talk about value, because that's that Taurian energy, value, right? Second house concerns. So what is the long-term value? What is the long-term impact? What is the long-term effect? What is the long-term outcome and or benefit of aligning with this energy, whether it be embodied in a single individual or a group, or an ideal, an idealism, right? It could be some of you are evaluating. I mean, I haven't talked about it exclusively, but it's pretty obvious with the imagery on the card. Some of you could be observing and or evaluating your relationship to your particular faith, your particular religion. You might be evaluating leadership in a church. You might be evaluating tenets of scripture, whatever. It's not, I suppose the catch is how plain this Hierophant energy is. It shows up as a person, as, in whatever way this is represented in your life. It shows up and there's no question what this is all about. And the skepticism comes possibly with why or how this Hierophant shows up with certainty, or without any questions, without any doubts, without any sense of needing to change decorum. Because that's the other thing about the Hierophant. There isn't any desire or support in change. Very little. Because again, it speaks to tradition. It speaks to systems that are structured and in place for a reason. And they are there historically. It would be like changing the calendar system. What? For how many centuries or millennia have we, gone by, 7 days a week? This, to propose a 6-day week or an 8-day week would be preposterous to the Hierophant energy. It would never even entertain. That's the skepticism. Thank you. This energy, this person, this body of leadership doesn't really implement change or implement questioning. It's not open to it. It's not open to questions. Oh my God. Okay. That could be down to like an interview or like a discussion, not open to questions. Don't question me. Don't question this. Don't question that. And you're kind of like, but no, we should question. We should be able to question. We should be able to voice our concerns, or I should be able to, if you're speaking on your own behalf, Scorpio, I should be able to voice my concerns or my questions. I should be able to say or decide what is good for me, because that's the other thing about the Hierophant. It gives decree. It tells you, whether it's a person, an entity, a group, a company, a government, a society, whatever. It tells you what to do. It tells you what is important. It tells you how to behave. You as an individual need not apply or need not factor in too much. You are meant to come in and work together as a group, work together for the collective, yeah? And that, again, has its good sides, has its bad sides. Please interpret this and discern it and apply it to your life as you need to. But I feel the challenge that you are observing with the Hierophant, again, if it's an individual or, something else, is, well, how is this giving to me? How is this equitable to me? How is this fair to me, right? Because your starting position was the Six of Pentacles, Scorpio. So you want to know, what are the benefits of aligning with this energy? What are the benefits of following this protocol? What are the benefits of this person being in the position of leadership? Is it really factoring back to me and giving me what I want, or giving me what I need in terms of Pentacles? More than want. Pentacles really often more speak to needs, physical needs, tangible needs, needs of the physical realm, the 3D realm, the earth realm, right? Not so much spiritual. It's more concrete. It's not abstract, right? So if this is a job, Is this giving me the right amount of money I need to sustain my life, to be secure? If this is positioned, or if this is you evaluating or you considering and observing your political leadership, are these people putting laws on the books? Are they acting in my behest? Are they acting in ways and setting out laws and proposals and all this other kind of stuff that's going to help me in the long run? Or is it hurting me? Right? That's that Six of Pentacles. Does it help? Does it hurt? Who's giving fairly to the situation? Who is not? You might also reflect some of that questioning back to yourself, just to be fair, because Six of Pentacles is it's very much a part of fairness for me. And so I think you're looking at this Hierophant and you're kind of like how I was before, you're kind of turning your head to either side. Is it good for me? Is it bad for me? Is this helping me? Is this hindering me? Are they on my side? Are they against me? And some of you are not necessarily able to tell just yet, because it is a powerful card. It is a major arcana. This person or this company, this gathering of people, this church has a lot of power. It doesn't have to be church. This could be a prayer circle, for God's sakes. This could, you could have issue with a guru. You could have issue with an online because of media, because online presence is also here, because that's like the biggest media right now is social media, right? Terrestrial radio and television is still a part of this, but social media would also kind of be lumped into the Hierophant, right? And so you're questioning the presence of this power in your life and giving to it, because the Six of Pentacles is about giving and taking, right? So giving to it, does that serve you? Maybe it does. It's gonna be different for all of you, because some of you are like, absolutely it does, and you're absolutely in line with that, and others of you are very, like I said, some of you are skeptical. Like, I don't know, I'm not really sure. That's that observation. That's that evaluation that's going on with the Six of Pentacles. Some of you, this is about money. Yes, thank you. Some of you, this is about money. Ten of Pentacles right underneath that Hierophant energy. So the Hierophant, as an individual, as a group, as a society, as whatever, has a lot of money, or is attached to abundance. More than money, is attached to abundance, is attached to some value, some high level value that you want a part of, or you have benefited from, or you will benefit from if you stay in line with that person or that entity, right? Ten of Pentacles, like high level riches, okay? This person, again, this company, the government, whatever, there's resources abound underneath the Hierophant. If it's the church, if it's a synagogue, if it's a mosque, and yes, friends, if it is, spiritualism or anything a part of the occult or metaphysics, there's, the occult and metaphysics, that's $1 billion business for those that don't know, okay? There's a lot of money in alternative healing or alternative, I don't want to say worship, but you know what I mean, like non-denominational stuff. There's tons of money to be had in that world, just as much as there's tons of money to be had or accumulated in the religious sector, okay? Both sides are rich, just so you know. So there is abundance attached to the Hierophant. Either they have it or they can replicate it. That's interesting. But they can produce it. If they don't have it, they can produce it. And you might have this as a goal in mind, again, from your position of observing and evaluating in the Six of Pentacles, you might eventually want some of those riches, or you might want to stay attached if you already are feeling the benefits of the riches. Oh God, I would be remiss if I did not mention, let's go back, because they're like, duh, go back. Six of Pentacles, Hierophant, and the Ten of Pentacles. Hierophant, religious overtone, also speaks to a card of marriage. Some of you might be in a marriage, or you might be thinking about the prospect of marrying a person who comes from money. You might already be in that relationship, or you're considering going towards it, or now that you are married, you've been together for a while, however long it's been, you may have accumulated the Ten of Pentacles together as a couple. And that, again, whether it's about money, it's beyond money, it's about whatever you value. You've created this together, or this person that you're in a relationship with, that you're in a commitment with, if it's not pure marriage, if it's not, say I do, kiss your bride and all that stuff, right? If it's not on that level, it is possibly approaching it. Or you could be like Goldie Hawn and what's that guy get? Kurt Russell. You're not married, but you're married. You're married without being married, and you guys have this together. So there is a strong foundation that the Hierophant represents for you, Scorpio, where your needs are met. Your physical needs are met. Thank you. Money, security, job, stability, food on the table, clothes on the back. Could have, what's that? For some, like an easy life. Not everybody, obviously, that's not possible. But for some people, it feels like being aligned with the Hierophant gives you an easier life. Meaning, if you want vacations, you will get vacations. If you want to eat at great restaurants whenever they open back up, you will be able to do that with this person or in this connection, whatever it is. Because again, this could be talking about your job. This could be talking about being, working for a multi-million, Fortune 500 company and earning a great salary all on your own, right? But you're in alignment with the decorum and the expectations and the obligations towards a corporation, okay? So in whatever way this translates for you, the physical needs are met. And that is important. That is important. But like I said, trickling way back to that Six of Pentacles, this is an observation and evaluation period for you, Scorpio. You're looking at what is known, because that thing I was doing earlier with my head, twisting, thank you. We'll say twisting, whatever. Moving it back and forth between my shoulders. There's like this, I'm like moving my head. It's like a metronome. It's like this. It's like boom, duh, 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 right? And that motion speaks to me of uncertainty. The most certain thing is this is not going anywhere. You can have this all day, all night, 24/7 the rest of your life if you want, or for whatever foreseeable period of your life that you want in Scorpio. That is very clear, because the Hierophant is not a changing energy. It's not an energy that says, you know what, tomorrow, let's just radicalize everything and let's just change the protocol and change the program. The Hierophant does not do that. And the Ten of Pentacles, no, because it's aligned with the Hierophant. It's like, no, that's like, this is solid. That's not going anywhere. So if you're concerned, if you're going to lose the job, but if the job that you have or the job that you're pursuing or the career path that you want to move towards is going to be shaky, I would say it's probably not. Okay? If this is about a relationship in terms of family, in terms of business, in terms of romance, that person is solid. They're not going anywhere. They're very firm in what they have and how they are and what they offer. There is not a lot of dynamic energy on that side. Over here, the other side of that you're going through, this is known, this is unknown. This is known, this is unknown. Give me more. What does that mean? So you should not. The phrase they're giving me is you shouldn't want more, but you do. And, maybe there is a tone or a tinge or maybe an implication of greediness there, maybe. But I wouldn't get hung up on it. You want more, even though what you have over here or what is available to you, if you don't have it, what you have available to you over here is set, and it's beneficial in certain ways that are discernible. You can tell how this is benefiting you. Somewhere, look at the orientation. This guy is facing off to the right, which is where the Hierophant is. So in the back of your mind, Scorpio, behind you is this forlorn, apathetic, bored, unfulfilled energy with the four energy, okay? I guess, I don't know, well, maybe, right? So you have this energy, this mehness about you, and it's coming from your emotional body, Four of Cups. Emotionally speaking, bored, disenchanted, aloof, detached, unfulfilled, scattered. They're giving me the word scattered in some cases. Unsure, perplexed. Ooh, they're just like giving me all these words. Confused, misinformed, just a whole bunch of stuff, as you can tell. Those were a bunch of different words. Pick out the ones that apply to your situation, leave the rest that don't. But ultimately, emotionally speaking, dissatisfied or discontented, unaffected. Oh, unaffected. Give me more. Numb, gray, colorless. Okay, this card in this deck is very colorful, but your emotional experience right now, Scorpio, might be very colorless. And so what do we see on the card? We see someone who has 3 cups. That's the stuff you have already. Again, I have, I have what I shouldn't, or no, what did I say? I shouldn't want more, but I do kind of energy, right? So you already have 3 upright cups. Off to the side, this guy's, chilling out in a meadow, face up to the sky, maybe sighing a little bit, blowing, not a, what do you call that? Blowing, it's not a raspberry, but that whole, that thing, doing that, being bored, and then a hand descends from the sky, from the ether, from the heavens, whatever you think of, or however you want to interpret that, and offers another cup, something to add to what is already there. And the offer is solid. The offer is genuine. The offer is similar, or if not similar, it's just as valuable. Thank you, because the cups are the same. They're all 3 golden, or excuse me, they're all 4 golden chalices, right? So it's of the same quality, but you're just like, or you don't see it, maybe. We can't presume that he's looking exactly where the hand is descending from. But there is like this, I want more, but I don't want that. Or I want more, but I don't know how to get that. Or I want more, but I don't even recognize that as an offer. Or I want more, and I don't even see this as an opportunity. Or I'm not even motivated. Going back. We're going back. Hold on. Unaffected, unmotivated. Huh. A lot, and that makes sense, Scorpio. You're deep. You're full of complex and often interwoven emotions, so I would not be surprised that you're feeling little niblets, little pieces of all the things that I was describing there. But as far as in this moment, it's like, here's the sure thing, here's the not sure thing, and that, again, Scorpio is, you're a water sign, so you have no aversion to the ethereal, right? Things that are elusive or mysterious. You might embody. That's it. You can embody mystery. You can be elusive. You can be, playing the shadows. But when other situations or people around you do that, you don't like it. You want something that's straight up in your face. Mystery bores you. You might embody mystery. That's kind of one of the stereotypes of Scorpios. So mysterious, so enigmatic. And to a degree, that might be true. But you bore of the thing that you are often associated with. If people or situations bring that your way, you're kind of like, ugh, gross. Or, sus. I don't trust it. And, you're automatically defensive. So all of that is sort of in the Four of Cups. However, I'm compelled to talk about and sort of spoiled for choice might be a concept that's going on here. Spoiled for choice. Because again, those 3 cups being very present in the foreground, and then the 4th cup coming from wherever and being, hey, we could add this to your collection, or here you go, here's another cup for going toward what you already have. And some of you are like, it's so weird. It's like, I want more, but I don't want to do it now, or I don't want to have it now, or I don't like the form in which it's coming out, or I want more, but do I deserve more? Some of you are like, I don't know. That's a whole bunch of shit. Again. Okay. You should be happy with what you have. You should be contented. You should feel fulfilled. You should feel perfect where you are. You're in an idyllic or ideal situation, job, family, personal development, finances, whatever we're talking about. But the fact that this 4 shows up, the fact that you're in an evaluation and observation period with the 6 of Pentacles, together means more is going on for you from an internal space, emotionally speaking, that says, yeah, but, and I'm going to use this as an example, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody, and I'm not making judgment calls, but say you were a millionaire. You've got $999 million in the bank, right? Just go with me. And you might be sitting under this tree going, I've got $999 million. I'm probably not going to spend that money, with the rest of my remaining years here on Earth. My family's taken care of. I can go where I want. I can, travel the world. I can, live out my dreams in terms of my material well-being. That's all Earth, by the way. That's all Pentacles energy. Pentacles, Earth, Pentacles, okay? Securely, your physical life is locked down. I've got the money. I've got the power. I've got the access. I have the attachments or the working relationships, the loving relationships, the interconnected relationships that give me all that I could want in a physical sense. That $999 million, that successful company I built, that happy family that I've created, that's all there. It's not going anywhere. But something in me says, maybe I want to be a billionaire. Maybe I want that extra $1 million to tick me over to the billionaire status. And there's this judgment, or there's this concern of, am I being greedy? Or why do I want that? Why do I want more? It's very interesting. You have what you have, and it's good, if not great, if not stupendous. It's solid, secure, stable, supports you, you're taken care of. Whether you've made that work for yourself, or you've, in some cases walked into a situation that provided that to you. But that 4 of Cups shows up, and again, it's like this emotional deficit. Wow. Deficit, they say. Deficit. Emotional deficit. And I mean, many of us talk about, well, not many of us, but, that's sort of a debate about human existence, or the ways in which, human beings can find happiness. You can have all the money. You can have all the access and the power. You can have something that's so stable and so secure in the form of the Hierophant, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a job, but then you're still discontented, emotionally speaking, emotional deficit. Why? I don't know. You might know. I don't know. But that's here. Emotional deficit. I should be happy. I should be contented with what I have. I should be able to live out the rest of my days without a care in the world. Yet here you are under the tree having a care in the world and pondering that care, or feeling blah about it. Like some of you are like, really like, why can't I just be happy? Like you're kicking yourself. Why do I want more? I should be fucking happy. Or might be what someone might say to you. Hey, gazillionaire Scorpio, my daughter, my son, my best friend, my business partner, why are you moping? So there might be a question of this displeased energy from an emotional aspect, that is the crux of the situation thus far. This is a disruptive energy. I think it's constructive because I view it as a challenge, or at least I can feel this is challenging to you or challenging to whoever this is affecting. And your girl as a tarot reader and your girl as an individual loves challenges. I'm not always happy with them, but I appreciate them. Let's say that I appreciate them. I feel some Scorpios like you don't want to be challenged, or you're not appreciating the challenge, or you don't see it or feel it like that. You're just kind of like, why is this here? Why am I, why can't I? Like, that is also like a stereotype of Scorpios, is like, you can't be satisfied, or you're always erring on the side of dreariness, right? Enthusiasm, optimism, high energy level, or high levels of joy, and that's normally not how a Scorpio is, stereotypically speaking, okay? So that could be what I'm sensing, is like you're kind of in your archetype of skepticism, possible mopiness, possible pessimism, possible disassociated or affected energy. Interesting. So what else happens? Well, okay. Because again, this this is observing and evaluating. So you might observe of yourself in the last few days, last few weeks, last few months, in some cases maybe a year or two. You're observing, I should be happier than I am, but I'm generally about everything. I should be riding high on a 9 or a 10. I'm usually coasting at a 6. What's wrong with me? You might be thinking in these terms, right? So you observe that over a period of time. You also observe in tandem, there are, yes, thank you, that could be your daydream, because that's the other thing about the 4 cups. You could be daydreaming. I mean, if that doesn't look like someone like imagining something, I don't know. It's just it's like this person has a internal world where they're just like deep in thought. Let's just say that. Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy, or Deep Thoughts by Scorpio General Collective. So you might spend a lot of time in your head. And in your head, over this evaluation period, over this period of observing yourself or observing your circumstances or whatever we're talking about, is the 6 of Swords. Here we go. Well, getting while the getting's good. This is not a card like the 7 of Swords where it's like sneaking away and it's deceptive and it's full of lies and deceit, or shadow work, or not shadow work, but moving and ducking through the shadows. The 6 of Swords is about moving on. Willfully, consciously, with effort, with the intention of better days ahead. Now, I don't know you personally, Scorpio. I'm not judging what you have going on. You might be living the life of Riley, or you might be, living in misery. I don't know. But the 6 of Swords generally speaks to where I was not kicking. It was not where I wanted to be. Work, family, love, whatever we're talking about. Personal development in some of your cases. I want to move on to something better. And this could be what you fantasize about. Oh yes, with the big old moon behind that head. which sounds like, anyway. So there's a large moon in this card. Moons related to Pisces, related to 12th house, can talk about dreams, fantasy, escapism. And I mean, she's cloaked. She's in this gondola. It looks like an escape route to me. So some of you could just be in a fantasy about what would life be. Oh, I don't see that, but let's just use that as an example. Let's just say you're known, what you know, what is already accounted for in your life. 6 of Pentacles, Hierophant, 10 of Pentacles. Let's say you are a famous person. You could be. Hi, thank you for stopping by here. You could be a famous person. famous celebrity, famous athlete, politician, what have you. Your life is public. It's known. People, scream your name on the streets, ask you for autograph. Well, in this case, in this day and age, ask you for a selfie, right? You could have lots of money, like I said, power, access, private jets, exclusive content, or not exclusive content, but exclusive deals and all this other kind of stuff. Again, the life of Riley, living high on the hog, right? That physical pentacles, earth pentacles, that physical solid shit. You are well-to-do, you're taken care of, right? You might fantasize of what it would be like to step away from all of that, to make it truly dramatic, and possibly in ways that some of you Scorpios might think of. What if I faked my own death, got a new identity, and just lived in a totally new country where no one knew who I was? Maybe I could get some, plastic surgery on my face, make myself unrecognizable. Like, that is like the extreme. I'm not saying that is what you're doing. If you are, your story is probably going to pop up on Dateline or 2020 within, the next 2 years. But it's like that extreme of, what if I wasn't who I was? What if I didn't have what I have? What if I went away from all that I know towards something else? It comes under this Four of Cups. It comes from a motivation point of that emotional dissatisfaction, that emotional deficit. I'm not happy here. I have the trappings of happiness. I have a great life. I have a good family. I have a wonderful home. I've got money. I have all that shit, but I'm still not jiving on the inside. Cups, big moon, emotionally speaking, it's not jiving. Look at me being a character from the 1970s. It ain't jive, man. It ain't jive. So that's what's going on here. And I think a lot of you, it's just in your head, meaning you're not actually doing anything about this, just chilling under this tree, thinking about, daydreaming about getting in a gondola and pushing yourself across the river to the other side, escaping the life that you already know. I don't know if that's good for you. I don't know if that's bad for you. That's neither here nor there. That's up for you to decide. But what I get is just like this desire to not be who you are, to be where you are, to live the life that you're living. Either because it's boring to you, that again, that is also there, apathy, feeling blah about whatever you already know. And it's no longer exciting. It's no longer fulfilling. It's no longer, it's just like, I don't care. You're like detached. As much as you're attached to whatever this is, you're also detached emotionally speaking. So that's going to play in so many ways, because this is about a job for some of you. For others of you, this is about your own personal development. You might be missing, or you might be kind of fatigued, for those where you have a spiritual life or a religious upbringing that you've, adhered to for the majority of your life. And you might be looking at the world around you, observing and evaluating the current events, and you're looking and you're saying, how can I say that? No, I dare not go into that. But some of you might be looking around, looking at your church leadership or your spiritual leadership, and what are they doing in this time of crisis? How are they reaching out? And the way in which they're helping people in need in this time of crisis. Is it effective? Is it really getting a good job done, right? And some of you might want to detach, because that's the other, element of the Six of Swords. It's detaching from the past. It's detaching from what exists on one side of the river, the home, the career, the things that you already are established within your life, and then traveling, detaching, moving on to the other side of the river, which is a land and an environment which is unknown to you. And again, I feel most of you are just thinking about this. You're not actually doing it. Because that moon combined with that Four of Cups, the moon in the card combined with that Four of Cups, to me is giving me daydreams, fantasy, illusion. It's not, again, it's unknown to you. You've never done this. You've always gone to that church. You've always worked this job for the past 30 years of your life. You've always lived in this one town or this one area of the world. And you've always had money. You've always had, income or a firm foundation in terms of your finances. If I give all that up, like I said, in that really crazy scenario, if I fake my own death and get a new identity, what am I going to do? So that uncertainty, as much as it might be, I think you like the fantasy of it. The fantasy is fine. To put actual legs up under it, less fine, less attractive, or less feasible. Fear. Thank you. You're afraid. You're afraid. Because, yeah. Well, some of you, not all of you. Some of you are afraid. And rightly so. Rightly so. That makes sense. Others of you, it's too unpredictable. And you don't like that. I told you that. Ooh, mystery, enigma, the unknown, everything that the Scorpio energy is meant to represent, you don't actually like it. That's the other thing about Scorpios. You don't tend to like yourselves. No offense, not calling anybody out, but you're very critical of yourselves. Let's put it that way. You're very critical of yourselves, or you're very critical. And it's not to say, you can love yourself and not like yourself. Those are two exclusive things. But there are aspects of yourself that when they betray you, when, your self-doubt or when you're erring on the side of fantasy get you in a mood of sullenness or feeling mopey, you're kind of like, here I go again, living in a fantasy, not being satisfied with myself. Why can't you be satisfied with yourself, Scorpio? Oh, you're being such a dumbass, and you like criticize yourself. Not all of you, some of you, okay? So, need some water. Where are we at? Oh, we're not too bad. That might be another part of the fantasy. Pardon me. I love ice water, and clearly I got a piece of ice in my throat, in my mouth, so pardon me, had to get rid of it. Now, okay. Six of Swords. Six of Wands is your final card in your spread today, Scorpio. So, are some of you in some way fantasizing or imagining yourself as a hero? As someone to be applauded and received well by the community? That could be it. That could be it. Oh, okay. That's very specific, and I'm just going to use this as an example. Hopefully you can make sense of it for some of you. You might be like in a family business or a family dynamic, like a long-standing, like I'm getting like law firm for some reason, like your father or your mother and your grandfather, like they've all been lawyers and you're next up to, start leading the firm. And I get the sense that some of you want to lead or be put in a position of leadership or be put towards the front and do it in your own way and be rewarded for it and or recognized for it. Yeah. I'm getting this sense of stepping forward in your own sense of knowing, in your own sense of autonomy, and saying, here's what I want to do, or here's where I think we should go as a company. Here's the future I envision for all of us. And the crowd of people at the bottom that you see there in the card, you're hoping or you're imagining or you're desiring for everyone to go, yeah, we agree. Yes, you're right. Oh, yes. And you might want to lead. That's very interesting. Whether or not that's actually happening, whether or not that's feasible or even offered to you, I don't know. Again, I'm just using the example of like leading a law firm or a company, that is within a family. That's not for all of you, but I get the sense of coming out. Okay. Okay. For some of you, that's on the money, coming out. Oh, and that's the other reason that threw that word in my head, because I'm like, coming out, the connotation aligned with the LGBTQ community is to come out of the closet. Now, if we really plug that way back into this reading, my gosh, well, that's a possibility. Evaluating and observing that the powers that be, your religious background, your family, whatever, they have a certain way of believing about certain lifestyles, and they're like, nah, we're not with that gay shit, my friend. No. Love the sinner, hate the sin kind of explanation maybe. And there's a lot of that's long-term foundational history over here. And then on the back end, in the back of your mind, you're daydreaming. I would love to live my truth. I would love to be in partnership with, And what if I, again, change my whole identity, change my whole lifestyle, my whole scheme up, everything that I've already established for myself, I leave it behind. And when I leave it behind, I emerge in victory. Because that's the other thing with the Six of Wands. It's this card of victory, being successful, being applauded and recognized as doing the right thing, or people having reason to celebrate you. Now, the reason I think that they would know, I would go with coming out. What did I say? Come out? Is that what I said? Whatever. I think I said come out. Yeah. Look at the color scheme. You've got red, orange on one flag, which quickly goes down to a yellow and then a green. There's no blue, but then you have purple and red on the man. So it's almost like a rainbow. There is like this slight impression of a rainbow here, right? So some of you are coming out, or you want to come out. Whether or not you will, I don't know. That's, again, this is more attached to what's in your mind, what's in your heart, what's in your fantasy, what is not expressed, what is not known. Yeah? Now, beyond your personal, journey in terms of your sexuality or, whatever we're talking about, that only plays for like a handful of people. More to the point, Scorpio, I think you want to be seen as making the right decision. When we see the Six of Wands, it's somebody who has gone out and fought, and because this person, the guy on the horse, is often seen to be coming back to his village, back to his establishment, his castle, right? And he's, being congratulated on, basically winning the wars or going through a battle or going on a long journey, right? So after that kerfuffle, after that upheaval, after that, period of time of conflict or strife, we want to be rewarded. Now, the interesting thing, again, Scorpio, is likely people don't know you have been embattled. Other people are not sure that you're in this emotional distress between the Four of Cups and the Six of Swords. People don't know that you're dissatisfied or that you are in some type of emotional disruption, that if you were to take a certain route and if you were to live or make certain decisions in your life, you would emerge and want to be recognized. People don't know. What happened? Well, why did this? Again, I get the sense, and Scorpio is that way, very drastic, right? Very, on off, very, I'm there and then I'm not there, right? So when you change things in your life, Scorpio, it's usually very suddenly, and it's usually without any type of precursor, because you are an internal sign. You reflect and you keep things inside, and you don't usually share. You don't usually let anybody know what you're doing, which is what I kind of got with the Six of Pentacles. So if you were to change, or if you were to move in a certain direction in your life, you would want people to say, hey, good job, Scorpio. But then other people around you, friends, family, cohorts, lovers, whatever, they'd be like, wait, well, so what am I congratulating you for? What happened? And then you would have to retroactively tell them, oh, by the way, for the past 5 years of my life, I was really going through this really, crazy battle with, an existential crisis. I didn't know what I was doing with my life. And people are like, really? Because you were out there living your life, quote unquote, normally, going to work every day, following the protocols or the tenets of your religion, living your family dynamic out, and it looked so successful. It looked so secure. It looked so stable. And you're like, oh no, on the inside, I was a complete wreck. On the inside, I was completely disassociated with everything that was going on the surface. I was not happy. But I'm happy now. I'm moving toward happiness now. And I'm not saying you want to be congratulated because of your ego. I think if it's not for other people to congratulate you, you would want to be able to congratulate or feel happy and proud of yourself because you have traversed and you have transformed and you have transcended something. Other people might not be able to recognize it because, again, you keep it all tucked inside. Fascinating. Anything else? Again, I think that's really what you're imagining, by the way. I'm sticking with that. I don't see you doing this in the real world. You might be thinking about it, evaluating it, observing it, maybe running projections, right? You might be spending ample amount of time thinking out a plan or devising, like you would. Here's the thing. I feel like Scorpio is like one of those signs where you would have plan A, B, C, D, always at the ready, always in your arsenal, ready to enact A, B, C, D. Do you ever take up any of those plans and run with it? Probably not. It's only when things are so out of control or so drastic, or you eventually become beyond bored and you might become actually disturbed or absolutely at a point of detachment where things need to change. Like status quo for you, Taurus is your opposite sign. So, and they're here in your reading, and Taurus is about status quo, is about that firm foundation. Firm foundations it makes you feel good. If you don't know anything about your opposite side, you should always study your opposite sign because they are the subtle elements of you that aren't necessarily present in your sun sign, right? But they are usually the things that you desire, right? Or the things that you could be, in some cases, or in some times, envious of, jealous of, and desirous of, yeah? So Taurus, your opposite, that foundation, that structure, even though it is something that sometimes seems boring to you or sometimes seems unfathomable or unfeasible or whatever, it's also like, but then I don't have to worry. There's a lot of it's already taken care of. So what's the bother? And that's attractive to a Scorpio. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to think. I don't have to puzzle. I don't have to suss it out. I don't have to be suspicious. It is what it is. Shit, I hate that phrase. But anyway, it is what it is. Perfect. I don't have to worry. I don't have to boggle. I don't have to be caught up in my own head. I can just relax. I think that is kind of what's going on here. You can relax with what you have. With what you don't have, with the unknown, with what the future may hold. You're kind of like, mystery. I don't like that. Outcome, 3 of Cups. Now, this is interesting. This, in terms of, with everything that's going on in the world, this could be you, reuniting with people once the quarantine is lifted. A lot of places are saying we're going to ride this thing out until early May, maybe even mid to late May. So 3 of Cups, maybe 3 months from now, that would be July. I don't know. And I mean, by then, if the world doesn't have a big party, if we've all been locked down for 3 months, my God, I would be surprised if there weren't like enormous parties going on the time at the time when we're all given the all clear to go out and socialize again. Okay. So that could be what this 3 of Cups is speaking of. You have reason to celebrate once the quarantine is lifted. You might also have reason to celebrate. Oh, okay, wrong. They're like, no. Reason to drink. Some of you may have reason to drink. Not calling anybody out here, but Scorpio is an indulgent sign. Again, it is somewhat anchored in your Taurian opposite. They are a sign of good living, luxury, access, and excess, right? One of the signs, not the only sign, but one of the signs that loves loves a good meal, loves good food, loves good and fine wines and all that kind of stuff. So you might have more reason to drink right now. That could be related back to this emotional apathy and this fantasizing thing that you have. And so you just, and again, that was also in the news. Sales for alcohol are absolutely up. So when we're all stuck together 24/7, pass me another beer, my friend. It's 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. Pass me another beer, my friend. We're not going anywhere, so we might as well have a good time where we are. Beyond that, I get, for some of you, okay, this is like sexual fantasies or fantasies about another person. If this has been about a marriage for however many of you, or a commitment, this has been, you may have, okay, for those who might be coming out, you could be fantasizing about a nice little three-way between you and a twink and a big burly bear if you're a man. Lesbians don't really have those equivalents. If they do, I don't know what they are. And I'm not saying these things to be facetious or insulting. I'm literally, some of you are fantasizing sexually about partners that you don't have. If you're committed, if you're married, you're laying in bed next to your husband or your wife and you're just like, I'm not thinking about you. I'm thinking about someone else. Or I'm thinking about 3 or 2 other people who are not you. All right. That's very specific. So this is, again, relative to fantasy and partying and being, sort of unbridled. Yeah. These 3 cards together, well, I guess 4 if we count the 3 of Cups, these all are not as physically true as the Pentacles and Hierophant card is. These are, for lack of a better word, boring. This and this together, it's boring. You know it. It's routine. It's calculated. It's very predictable. This is less predictable altogether. So, fantasy, escapism. What a reading. Overall energy. The Tower. Secondary major arcana for Aries. You could be dealing with an Aries, but you don't have to be. Well, it's not a predictor because it's not an outcome and it wasn't here in your spread. However, you may have had a Tower moment that other people don't know about, as is the way of a Scorpio. You may have had an upheaval, a disturbance, a rumble in the jungle. Not a fight, but like a rumble, an earthquake, right? In your life, in your personal interior life, that nobody knows a goddamn thing about, and that's exactly how you want it. I would not put it past any of you to keep a Tower moment under your hat, okay? In general, towers talk to destruction, disruption, crumbling of foundations, things that were once dependable in your life, suddenly becoming, haphazard, or, you're released from it, or as you can see from this card, you're kind of ejected from it, right? Lightning strikes the tower, you fall out in your birthday suit, So I get the sense that some of you have experienced this, but nobody knows it but you. Or, thank you. It is a part of the Tower card, but anyway, you don't always have to have a Tower moment and it has to be explosive. Tower moments can be very quiet, can be very subtle, can be very slow. Sometimes they're loud and they're crashing and they strike just like lightning. And other times it's like a slow drip. Boop, 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 right? Because if you think about that in general, if you have a slow drip over decades, millennia, a slow drip on rock, eventually that water will cut the rock. That is change over time. Small, it's quiet, it's not loud, it's not destructive. but it is happening. And you might not be able to see it in your naked eye. You watch that drip for one day, you watch it another day. You might not see the change that the water is impacting on the rock, but it is happening. So, that's, and I hope you're able to follow me with that. So some of you are having huge explosive moments that are busting up your life, busting up the decorum of your life, and others you're having smaller, quiet moments that are possibly not discernible to you and or other people. Regardless, I think for the most part, you have not expressed and you have not exposed what that tower moment is. You have kept it to yourself. Scorpio, that's your reading for April 2020. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Please hit that. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. I would love to read that. Gives me some validation here as an anonymous pair of hands on the internet reading tarot. If you want to let me know how this is shaking out in your life, let me know what I got correct. That would be great. Or what resonated with you, rather. That would be awesome. Feel free to share the reading, let other people know that you like my stuff. And if you have not subscribed, friends, there's a nifty little red button. It says subscribe on it. Go ahead and click that for me. Scorpio, if you want a personal reading, again, that information is in the description box below. And of course, I have that new angle going on over on Instagram at EmpathicFire Tarot, okay? Scorpio, I will be back soon to do your mid-April readings. After that, we're going to go into May and June and all the days and months in the future. So if you want to be on top of any of that, go ahead and hit me with that subscription, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I will, I'm changing up my exit. I will talk to you later, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching, Scorpio. I really do appreciate it. Take care.